How's it going, everybody? So today we're diving into a brand new launch monitor, and that is the Launchbox by TruGolf. If you're unfamiliar with TruGolf, they've literally been in the golf realm since the very beginning and play a crucial role into the golf sims that we know today. In the last few years, they've really exploded in popularity thanks to their two units that they offer. One of them is actually a multi-sport unit that expands your golf simulator and allows you to play multiple sports like frisbee golf, foot golf, shooting games, bowling, and pretty much any other sport you can think of. And for golf simulators, they launched their Apogee overhead golf launch monitor unit, which I've personally been using in my setup for months, and it's become my #1 go-to launch monitor as of late. The Apogee is loaded with a bunch of cool features like their voice command, "Hey Apogee, aim right." A built-in green laser hitting circle that shows you exactly where to place the ball, which is super helpful for kids and guests who have no idea what they're doing in a sim. It also has insanely detailed post-shot analysis, utilizing its built-in tracking cameras that give you pretty much every metric you'd ever want or need, including impact location. And most importantly, their new E6 Apex software that you've probably noticed make its way into a lot of my B-roll clips as of late because the graphics look so insanely good. Apex personally has some of the best golf sim software I've seen, and it's no surprise considering it's powered by Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is the software behind all those ridiculous 3D games we've seen over the last decade, and it's a huge part of why I keep finding myself firing up the Apogee. But what makes this new Launchbox so appealing is that it opens the door to this Apex ecosystem at a much lower entry price, and it also packs a bunch of features of its own. With this launch monitor, you're getting a lightweight, portable launch monitor with high-speed cameras and one exterior camera that's actually dedicated to swing tracking, a built-in leveling sensor, wireless connectivity to a PC as well as a mobile device, a really cool e-ink display for onboard metrics, and best of all, near instant shot feedback. So in this video, we're going to break down everything the Launchbox can do, run it through its paces, and see if it may be a good fit for your setup. As always, links to everything in my setup and everything covered in the video will be listed in the descriptions down below. And remember, we offer 100% free consultations. You'll talk to me personally and I'll help you design and build a sim that will fit your space and your budget. It's completely free and I can even save you money on all the components for your setup. Feel free to reach out to me directly at pixelgolfco.com. Let's get started with the video. First, let's talk hardware and features. The Launchbox is extremely lightweight, weighing just 2.7 pounds, which is about half the weight of a Foresight GC3, even with similar size characteristics. This is great for people who need a portable unit or plan to haul it back and forth to the range, or for those people who have temporary setups. Though I will say, being as light as it is, I really wish that TruGolf included some sort of a carrying case with it, as I would hate to drop this thing. The Launchbox features 3 cameras, 2 behind a tinted black front panel and a 3rd exposed camera above them dedicated to swing impact video, though as of this video, that is not yet active and will be coming in an update soon. Being able to see video footage of your strike and impact location is extremely helpful when you're working on your swing, as seeing is believing. Having impact video on a launch monitor is something I wish my GC3 had, and one of the reasons why I've been reaching for my Apogee so much when I use my simulator, and sadly because of that, my GC3 has been sitting in its case for probably the last 3 months. It's also great for those friends who come over and say there's no way I flushed that shot, as you can quickly pull up the video footage and settle the argument instantly. The Launchbox also includes a built-in leveling sensor, which is extremely helpful so you don't have to carry around a bubble level with you to make sure your device is level with the ground. Now let's talk about the hitting zone. This unit actually features 2 hitting zones. A 6x4 inch area for shots off the ground and a 2x4 inch zone for teed up shots. Now this is by no means a large hitting area, being just 4 inches by 8 inches, but honestly, as someone who uses a hitting insert, I prefer tighter placement near the center, as it prevents people from placing the ball too far back and catching the rear of the hitting insert on a fat shot, or too far forward and clipping the edge of my turf. For connectivity, this unit supports Wi-Fi, which is perfect if you want a clean setup with 0 visible cables, especially if you're switching between righties and lefties, which you can toggle the dexterity directly from the onboard buttons. Though I will say the buttons are extremely cumbersome, so if you're switching dexterities constantly, a ceiling mounted option like the Apogee is definitely the better choice if it fits your budget. And if the Wi-Fi in your space isn't the best, they've also supplied an Ethernet cable so you can directly connect your Launchbox to your PC. Keep in mind that if you're already utilizing your Wi-Fi connection for internet, you may need a separate Wi-Fi dongle, though these are extremely inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon for just $15. I'll put a link to one that I've tested and I know works down below. Luckily for me, my PC's Wi-Fi card allows me to run 2 Wi-Fi networks at the same time. Make sure to check out the channel for that how-to build video if you're interested. Another strong selling point for this unit is the ability to play directly from your phone or a tablet. This is perfect for golfers who don't necessarily have space for a full-blown sim setup and just want something portable for a hitting net or a range session. And with the built-in e-ink display, this means if you only care about raw numbers, you don't need a screen at all. And finally, the launch box doesn't require any specialty marked balls. This means no stickers, no reflective dots, no proprietary markings. Just pick whichever ball you like to use and this unit will read them with no problem. Now let's talk software. The Launchbox has 2 offerings at the moment. The standard for $29.99, which includes E6 Connect and 27 courses, as well as practice facilities that you own for life. Meaning, if you're someone who hates subscriptions and just want a portable unit that has a handful of courses with decent graphics on it, this is potentially a great option. There's also an option for $500 more that basically just includes 3 additional premium E6 Connect courses. Though in my opinion, I think that money is better spent getting a year subscription to E6 Apex, which is actually less money and the direction I would head. I know you're probably thinking another subscription, and as somebody who personally doesn't like subscriptions myself, this one does kind of make a lot of sense as it's giving you access to pretty much any course you can think of that you would ever want to play at the best graphics I've personally ever seen in golf sim software. And with the updates constantly happening on this, it just keeps getting better and better. As somebody who personally owns and bought the GC3, that unit cost me $7,000. And in order to play all the courses I want to play, I still have to pay another third-party software like GS Pro, $250 a year, just to be able to play all those courses. So with this unit, at least you're getting in at a much lower entry price at $3,000 and then paying them about $300 a year if you just want to play those courses. Let's say I bought a similar price unit like the Foresight GC3S, which is a subscription unit. That unit costs $700 more, and not only will I still need to pay $250 to use GS Pro software to play all those courses, I also have to pay Foresight $500 a year just to be able to use that third-party software. That totals $750 a year for subscriptions just to be able to play all those courses, whereas this unit you're getting in a lot cheaper and you're only paying that $300 a year if you just want that package for course play. Also, other companies like Unicorn and a few others have taken on this business practice, which is basically you gotta pay us in order to pay them. At least with this unit, you buy the unit, they also give you some free courses through that E6 Connect. So at the end of the day, it comes down to what's best for you and your setup and what software do you want to go with. With that being said, let's take a look at E6 Connect, which is the software you get with the unit and you own it for free with no subscription. And then I'll show you my favorite E6 Apex and hopefully that'll answer that question for you. So as discussed, the Launchbox for $29.99 comes with access to E6 Connect, as well as 27 courses and a few other features and practice modes. So let's say you don't want to go the subscription route. Let's take a look at what you get for that. So the cool thing about TruGolf is they basically have one application that you can actually launch all your products from. And you can see we have Apex if you decide to go that route and get the subscription for it, which I'll cover that after this E6 Connect segment. I just want to cover what you get included with the unit. And since I also have an Apogee, I also have access to my monitor itself where I can do calibration and software updates and things like that. And then since I also have the MultiSport unit, I have access to where I can jump in and play one of these other various sports by just clicking on it, hitting play, and it'll simply launch. So as you can see, I already have E6 Connect downloaded and installed on here. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that. And yeah, so this is what I was familiar with from when I used E6 before. The interface looks fairly similar, and I just saw right there that the Launchbox actually connected automatically since I have it powered on. So that's awesome that you don't have to do anything additional and like go in and select it and things like that. So that's a big plus for that. So basically in the main menu, we have the option to go play golf. We can go to practice mode. There's a pin seeker game, and there's also these mini games that are great for kids or even yourself if you like playing other games that are like golf related. And then let's take a look at practice mode. With this feature, you have your driving range, and once you click into that, you have all different types of ranges you can select from. So you have a flat range, you have one with large targets, shot shape range, small targets. Again, if we go back and we go to chip and putt, again, we have a chip and putt area where we can kind of jump around and hit different types of shots and put the ball where we want. So let's try this 50-yard log shot. You have a little mini menu down here on the bottom left, and you can actually change the environment. So 50 yards is a pretty comfortable yardage for me. It's one I practice. Oh, almost made it too while I said that. It's one I practice quite a bit. So that's pretty awesome, just being able, again, to jump around to different practice modes, or you can go to a range and just fire off 7-irons or drivers or whatever you want. But that's a nice feature, to just have a bunch of quick access practice facilities. And again, if I want to go to something else, I can just hit exit round, new course, and then I can jump back into one of these other ones. So I don't want to spend too much time going through all the features of E6 Connect. This software has been around for quite some time, and there's a lot of videos out there on it. I just wanted to show you again what comes with the unit standard if you don't want to go that subscription route. So the last thing I'll do is just jump over to where you actually play golf and show you how this works. So you see we have Stableford here, modified Stableford. There is match play singles, scramble, best ball, performance, team stroke. So you have a lot of options and different ways you can play if you're playing with a bunch of other people or just alone. So let me go next. I'm just going to do stroke play. And then here you can see all the courses they have. Again, this unit for $29.99 only comes with 27 courses, and I'll have those listed. And I'm going to launch Pebble Beach. I wanted to go with this one because then I'm going to show you E6 Apex after this. And they also have Pebble Beach, so you can kind of see what those visual differences are and the interface. And then let's do a flyover here, and we'll see how that compares to E6 Apex. So the graphics surprisingly look pretty good, better than I remember. I don't know if it's because I have a 4K projector now or what it is, but I actually don't mind the graphics on this. Let me grab a wedge and hit a shot. So again, testing out the launch monitor, put the ball there, and it's locked on, green light's ready to go. See how close we can get to this. That was a little thin and right, but it is safely on the green. So let's check out putting. So as you can see, it automatically aims you for putting and then puts the brake in it for you, so you don't have to go around there and start aiming yourself, which I recommend doing for sim play. So all you have to worry about is the speed. So we have a 27-foot putt. Looks like it started pretty good, maybe just a little too right. And that one rolled out to 31 feet. All right, and let's quickly jump over to 18 and just see what that looks like. And this is hole 18, so you have a pretty good look at what this one looks like. Let's do a flyover. We'll see how that compares to E6 Apex graphics. So overall, the hole looks good. I mean, the graphics really aren't that bad on this. They're not at where E6 Apex is, just with like the shadow detail and like the bunkers especially. Like on Apex, they do such a good job of seeing bunker depth just by the way they shade it. And again, using that Unreal Engine, it's just hard to beat, but this is completely playable. And I mean, I'm not offended by it at all. It looks pretty good. So let's jump over to E6 Apex and see how that looks. So again, I can just jump right out of this. It's going to take me right back into the product launcher. And then I can jump into E6 Apex. All right, so now we're in E6 Apex software, and I'm just gonna show you a few things that this software actually does. So again, we're back at Pebble Beach on hole 7. Let's check out some of the things you get with E6 Apex. So we have full control of weather conditions to where we can select, sunrise, morning, afternoon, evening. We can control the wind. If we wanna put light wind, strong wind in there, we can control that, and the wind direction. If you want to work on some shots into the wind, downwind. And then also you can play at the course elevation. So Pebble Beach should be at sea level, so I can shut that off and I can actually change this to my home elevation, which is around 1,200 feet. We also can control the time of day, so you can go to early morning and then slowly scroll, and you'll see the shadows like move with the sun, which is honestly really cool that they do that. We can even control the clouds. And we can control the fog, so we can make it look like extremely eerie out here, and then you see the ocean kind of disappear into the background, which is honestly really cool that you can just do this on the fly on any of the courses. And then we could even add rain. So we can do like a light drizzle, light rain, moderate rain, more of a downpour. And then again, you also have the ability to, let's say you want to play like in the dark in the rain, you can change the time of day. We're coming up on Christmas, you can actually add snow to any course. So you can literally change like just about everything. Like you can change the time of day it is outside, you can add snow, rain, fog, change the clouds, and really kind of tune the course to how you want to play. I know during Christmas time, I like to leave my simulator on for my guests to use. And it's nice that I can just have, just a nice par 3 like Pebble Beach and put snow in there and just kind of stay in that holiday feel. But let's go ahead and exit out of this and do a flyover, just like we did on E6 Connect. So you can already see, like with the bunker details, like that shadow detail, and just how you can really tell how deep those bunkers are. You can, hopefully this is showing on the camera, but you can actually see like the undulations in the green, and then the grass just looks like textured, like actual grass. So that is really awesome. Let me exit out of that. We could even do a drone camera where it kind of shows more of the course around there and the water. Like the water, again, with that Unreal Engine, like that is a really strong part, and you'll see that on hole 18 when we do that flyover. But just take a look at like the detail of the grass and the bunker shading. So I have 107 yards. I'm just gonna hit a shot. The launch box already paired automatically, just like with E6 Connect, the launch box also paired, and I can see the little logo under the mini map there that says launch box ready. It turned to green since the ball's in the hitting zone. So ball takes off really quick. Oh, that's a nice shot. Oh, and then you can see there's actually like a circle that you can set too, like your gimme circle. So I hit it in that gimme circle. I think I had it set to like 6 to 8 feet. So it automatically finished the hole. It counted that as one putt, so that was a birdie, and then it jumps to the very next hole. So just the sim play, like when you're playing with other people, is so awesome and kind of fluid with everything that Apex has to offer. So it jumped me to hole 8, but again, I don't want this video to get too long. Let's just go to hole 18 like we did with Connect, and then let's do a flyover of that. So if you just notice like the water and the waves and the rocks and even the like shading of the tree, all the shadows, and then when we come around this corner here, you can really see, as opposed to E6 Connect, like the depth of the bunkers and just how those bunkers are sloped, which is extremely helpful when you're playing in sim play, just to be able to see that lip. Because a lot of golf sim software that doesn't have that level of detail, when you're in the bunker, it may just look flat and you just don't really have any gauge of like, okay, how tall is that lip in front of me? And then all the houses in the background, like everything they did, they really nailed it on this software, and I just wanted to show that. And then also with Apex, you have like all these data metrics that you can select, you can highlight, you can actually edit them and change. And you see we have angle of attack, we have our side spin, descent angle, dynamic loft. We got club face and club path, which is crazy. I didn't realize that this does that, but it's showing me club face and club path that seems to be accurate and make sense, and my club speed. And we can take these little tiles and we can cycle this over and put whatever information we want. And then eventually, once they get that camera activated on the front that shows your kind of your swing, I'm guessing it'll be in here. And here's, I can already see something's going on here. So it's showing video unavailable. And then I can see like an infrared camera of my shot. It looks like it's right after I hit the ball. And then again, with all your metrics. So that's really cool. So that's coming soon. And that's something that I'm extremely excited about with this particular unit. And what I wish my GC3 had is ability to see that. So I don't know what that's going to look like yet. Not making any promises. I just know they said it's coming very soon. So that was a pretty light overview of E6 Apex. Again, I just wanted to show you an option that you can get. And one of the reasons why I think that this unit is a good option to be able to have access to E6 Apex and kind of answer that question for you. I will be doing a whole video breaking down Apex in full detail, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel to check that out. Now let's jump into my final thoughts, and I'll tell you who I think the launch box is for. So who is the launch box for? In my opinion, it's for a few different types of people. Someone who wants access to E6 Apex but doesn't necessarily have the budget for the Apogee. It's also a solid choice for somebody who wants a multi-use sim setup, as you can add their MultiSport unit and add other games and features to your sim for family and friends who aren't necessarily into golf. And since the MultiSport is under the same TruGolf umbrella, it makes it easy to access and jump back and forth through its easy-to-use product launcher. Honestly, the MultiSport surprised me in a good way. Make sure that you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss that video when it comes out. It's also a great option for somebody looking for a one-and-done unit, as you get access to E6 Connect and those 27 courses that you own, as well as the practice facilities. And after filming this video, I realized the graphics in E6 Connect are actually pretty good graphics, and I think most people will be happy with it. It's also a great fit for somebody looking for ease of portability, as they can pick up this unit and take it to the range, though I will say it only works off of range mats and not real grass, so keep that in mind. Another big plus for the launch box is the minimal space required. You basically just need enough room to swing a club since this is a photometric unit, whereas units like the Mevo Plus require a lot more room real estate and in my tests don't perform as well indoors as photometric camera base units. Now I will say this, if you're somebody who's planning on having lefties use your sim, I would probably look at another unit as switching dexterities back and forth through the menu isn't very intuitive and really hard to toggle back and forth. As for the data, I saw accurate measurements of what I would expect on the course, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't anxious to get my apogee back in my sim. I absolutely love the apogee. Honestly, if it fits your budget, that's the direction I would head. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel for that video coming, as well as some Christmas giveaways that we'll be having, so make sure to stay tuned for those. You'll find links to everything in this video, as well as everything in my personal setup listed in the descriptions down below. And remember, you can reach out to me at pixelgolfco.com where I offer free consultations. I'll help you plan your sim to fit your space and your budget, and it's 100% free. We'll see you on the next one.